Go Home Wrestling Show. Thank you so much for the host. I really do appreciate that. I actually think that's my first host since I've been doing the podcast on this channel. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And I'll be sure to drop you a follow once we get off the air here. But anyway, but that was kooky. A WCW contracted wrestler, who was the ECW World Champion, being pinned for that title by a WWF contracted wrestler. I mean, oh, it didn't come up here. I'm sorry. It'll come up probably very shortly. But yeah, I'll drop a follow later. But yeah, that was so weird. And, you know, obviously history tells, and Paul Heyman admits to how Vince McMahon and the WWF viewed ECW. And they really, it's a time that'll never be seen again. Wow, I'm surprised too that they're still up. Huh. But again, it's like no DQ. When I was writing for them for a little bit, friends of mine were like, holy crap, no DQ still exists? So that was legitimately the problem back when I wrote for them. And yeah, they were surprised as anything that they were still up. I knew they were still up, but it was funny that everybody had that opinion. So yeah, that'll never happen again. That'll never ever happen again, because, I mean, for one, if you heard Jericho's podcast where he talks about his decision to go to AEW, he throws out there to have an Intercontinental Champion, champion versus champion match at SummerSlam with Rollins at the time, and Vince McMahon pretty much blew it off. Vince has gone from, like, he'll help a company kind of to pretty much ghost-facing everybody. Whereas Triple H with NXT is working with Evolve and Gabe Sapolsky, and it's a different time in wrestling. But I believe eventually we'll get back to it once Triple H takes over. That's the other part of this that's like, okay, something to look forward to. But at the same time, who the hell knows? I mean, who really knows? Once he gets into that position, things might change. Because right now he can kind of do whatever he wants with NXT. It's his baby. But anyway, with Mike Awesome, then he goes to WCW. He pretty much gets thrown into a big program right away with Kevin Nash, which I thought at the time was, okay, this is fitting. Mike Awesome versus Kevin Nash, and nothing really came of it. Then he becomes a fat chick thriller and everything, which was stupid. But I'm sure the contract that Mike Awesome had was stupid money for him. So sure, I'm getting paid this kind of money. I'll do whatever you ask me to do, which is business, and that's how it should be conducted. You're being paid. Do it. Just keep doing what you're doing. But then then WCW folds. Mike Awesome then comes as part of the Alliance, and even then it was nothing too thrilling. He actually won the Hardcore Championship as a member of WCW for the Alliance before they called it the Alliance. And after that, I don't remember offhand that if he did anything extraordinary for WWE or the Alliance angle or anything else for that matter, because they didn't do. It's almost like they didn't know what to do with him. I mean, dude, the guy was 6'8", 300 plus pounds, could fly like a cruiserweight, but strong as all hell. There's something that could have been done with Mike Awesome. And once the alliance angle is over, he kind of disappears too. I believe he wrestled on Velocity every now and again, or whatever those cheapy 1 hour shows were at the time. I can't remember. So, it's a shame. And then once the alliance angle was over, he then goes over. I don't remember what he did after that. I don't know if you all did. He work for FMW again? Did he? I don't even know if FMW was still in existence at that point. But I would imagine he went back to Japan, and then he comes back. Damn right, rest in peace, Mike Awesome. Did he? I can't even remember what the hell happened. Did he go? But anyway, then he comes back to WWE or ECW or WWECW, whatever the case it was, for One Night Stand 2005 and has the match of the night. I don't care what was there before or after. I don't know what anybody else thinks. I thought, and I'm biased because I was a huge Mike Awesome fan, that he killed it with Masato Tanaka, One Night Stand, 2005. So, hold on. Okay. So either way, it's a shit. His career, though, he wrestled a long time. I'm meaning in the United States, or North America, if you will. Very brief, as far as national or international exposure is concerned. But, man, what a crying shame. In WCW, where you could have benefited from a guy of Mike Awesome's size, have a guy like a Judge Jeff Jones come over too, and be that voice to the brains to his brawn, his James Mitchell to his Abyss. And I think in WCW it could have really worked, but you had guys like Nash running things, Hogan, and I don't know so much Hogan at that point, but inmates were running the asylum, and they weren't able to fix it. And Vince Russo was in charge. So I honestly think Mike Awesome could have been much bigger than what he was. He should have been much bigger than what he was. And the only thing that was really against him, and a big thing that was against him, was the way he handled business as ECW champion. Signing a WCW contract while champion. Should have done business the right way. Hey, I'm offered this. I'll drop the belt. Then I'll sign the contract, this, that. But I guess he didn't want to pass up the money and sign. Which, as a normal human being, I can't blame him as a business person, and how you'll be looked at and everything else afterward. That's where I kind of kill you. Or anybody else, really. A lot of people killed him for it. And for that part, he did deserve it. Because I remember Joey Styles. Joey Styles at one point just refused to talk about Mike Awesome. And, when he was on commentary during that time, it wasn't, One Night Stand 2005. Like what you would think of back in the day with the Dudleys. He's like, I can't stand them. I hate their guts, this, that. That was part of the work. But no, Joey actually had to be talked to in a headset of like, dude, keep it professional or try. And he really couldn't contain himself. He hated Mike Awesome with a passion because he goes over to WCW. But then again, you got to figure, Joey, dude, companies are closing their doors. Both of them. WCW or ECW was closing their doors at the time. Come on, really? So either way, it's really a sad thing, and I hope more people will talk about Mike Awesome in the way of how how uh, how good he was. And thankfully for wrestling fans of the casual type, you have the WWE Network with ECW. Unfortunately, with WCW, where I mean, he still had decent matches, but man, that character freaking killed him. Mike Awesome could have been a WCW United States champion during the Alliance angle. He could have been Intercontinental champion for WWE. Period. But his style worked so good in ECW because it's what he did in FMW, and ECW was known to bring a lot of FMW talents over because they're pretty much the Japanese equivalent to what ECW was. So, but I stand by that he would have been excellent in this day and age as pro wrestling. Between companies like GCW that are on the independents and not that he would have wrestled death matches necessarily, but he would have been definitely a force if he was to. A company like AEW would have benefited from him. And he would have been an excellent addition to NXT. And here's why. NXT allows you to work. Like, to basically showcase your craft. Why you were thought of as being good enough to sign a WWE or NXT contract. Mike Awesome would have been given that opportunity to work. Top rope power bombs, maybe not so much. Well, maybe. Who knows? You can't play the what if in that case. But, being able to jump over the top rope like a suicide dive for a guy his size. I mean, they let Hansen do it pretty much right now. Obviously, Killian Dane was known for doing stuff like that. But Mike Awesome, no offense to Hansen and Killian Dane's physique, but Awesome looked the part of a champion, and he was a good worker. He really would have benefited in NXT. Imagine if Mike Awesome wrestled Drew McIntyre with how stiff they could be. Oh man, that would have been freaking awesome. Pun fully intended. So anyway, I just wanted to take a little bit of time out of the day to really recognize Mike Awesome. Sucks that he's no longer with us, and may he be resting in peace. And now we have video of him and YouTube too. Go look him up. Definitely do yourselves a favor and go look him up. Anyway, again, thank you, Go Home Wrestling Show, for the hosting, the follow. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm gonna be right back. We'll take a little bit of a break. I'm going to play this match: Sadie Gibbs, Lana Austin. Folks, enjoy the match. And again, if you want to call in 657-383-0105, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to do what everybody else has been doing here in the Twitch chat, just posting your conversations and your thoughts. When I come back, we'll get into the Corey Graves, Carmella disaster, which has been happening. And we'll be talking about Elimination Chamber. And if we have time, Undertaker, is his time over in WWE? It seems like it, but also as a wrestler in general. We'll get more into that after this. Alright, we are back here with Open Mic Wrestling Night live on Twitch. And if you are not listening live on Twitch, you could also listen on Spreaker.com/filling_the_void. You can also listen on iHeartRadio and Spotify. We're back.